So do you remember our peasant shifters? Remember we rebuilt these pumps, didn't we? Which run the air horns, and I've taken to calling them peasant shifters. All very PC, as you know. Anyway, look that video up if you haven't seen it, and yeah, you'll know what I'm wobbling on about. Right. So yeah, so we got it. You know, here we are, all installed, working, lovely. Ignition on. There you go. Works lovely. Bit of a hair trigger, but that's probably what you want, isn't it, when you want to shift the peasants? But yeah, so good. That's good. Big vexation that was, trying to work out what went on. But basically, once I, you know, worked it out, it wasn't so bad to do. So I had to make this disc up, and then we had to sort out this spring business in here, and so on. Then there's the wire, and as I say, what it's all about, wasn't it? It was making this connect to there when you push your horn button. So that's it. It works. It works. And but yeah, you can have a look and see what it took to get there. It's a bit roundabout way, but you know, that's you don't know how to do things till you work out, do you? And sometimes it's you can watch the process of how I come to work out how to do what to do, and how I sort it out in the end. So there you are. Enjoy it. Well, we're getting close to a finish on this one now. Working my way through the wiring. Vexations of Italian wiring are notorious, but there we are. It's getting there. I'm getting used to this sort of stuff, to be honest. You have to jump through the hoops. So what we're working on the horn. I'll tell you what, you know, the getting them peasant shifters up and running. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look at that earlier video. So these horns work on an earth return system, which is effectively it's taking this and putting it to ground. So effectively putting that on there. But you need the ignition on for it. So I'll show you. Put the ignition on. Let's fire that up. Get the idea, that's what we've got to do. So we've got to work out how that works, which we'll have a look at on the bench in a minute. Well, with the continuity tester, you can see that is not insulated from there. So if we put that on there, we'll see the numbers climb. We'll also hear the buzzer go off. So there you go, there's the ring. It should be insulated, but it isn't. There you go, you see? And then that's where the column mount go on. So without that ring being insulated, you know, we're going to have a trouble here, aren't we? Because what we're trying to do is connect the two, aren't we? We're trying to when we push the horn down, it's supposed to go onto here, which will earth the wire that's coming up through here, or something of that nature. That's what we're trying to work out, isn't it? How to do that. Now with the horn pusher, we haven't got anything inside it. That should have some sort of brass fitment in there. You know, and that would be the idea, is it will connect. The wire will come up here, go onto the bit of brass in there, and then when you push it down, it will make a connection with there, which will effectively do what we're doing, is bridging the, you know, earthing that wire out. So we've got to work out a way of doing that. But with this spring sitting on there, and then if that's sat on that brass, you know, obviously that would earth it out already. So the only thing we can think about is whether we could, you know, the brass bit will just be in the very middle, and then it would contact with that nut on the top of that nut on the top of the column effectively. That's what we're thinking of, that type of thing. So I'm trying to work it out, but also that is too tall with that on there. You know, it all bottoms out. It doesn't work at all. In fact, none of it really likes it anyway. So if we pop this in here, anyway, pop that on there, we don't have a lot in it anyway. Yeah, it's sort of, it's almost bottomed it out already. Yeah, I know that hasn't got the spring bit on it, but no, it's not. I suppose it's got enough, so that would probably do it actually, wouldn't it? And that would do it, wouldn't it? So hold on, let's try. What we need to do is try a different spring in there. That one's not going to work. So I'll try one of these in there. Yeah, so that could be centralised over that one. That's too small, really. That one's about right. So that would be centralised over there. So that would actually centralise over that nut quite nicely like that. So that could work, couldn't it? And then that there, like that. So if it's not got no, that doesn't give us any. That's still too. It's already bottomed out effectively. This one hasn't, but we can maybe tweak this spring around a bit. So yeah, so right, okay. So if we've got the right spring in there, something that's the right size, perhaps this can be made to work. And let's see. I mean, that's obviously got too much tension on it because it's not holding that in, but well, that would work, wouldn't it? Right, so that's proof of concept in so much as we've got enough play there with the right type of spring on there. That would still work, wouldn't it? Because that's what you want to do. You want to jam on that, don't you? And then get the old peasant shifters going. Right, so that's what we'll work on, isn't it? So we can probably leave that in situ. So we need a way of connecting. We need a way of connecting a wire from here, either to here or there. But if we're using that centre, say, something like that. Let's try and pull that out a bit and see what we got. If we were to do that. Yeah, you see, something like that we might work, mightn't it? Whoops, the old bench is off. It's trouble having it on casters. Okay. So yeah, that would work, wouldn't it, like that? So effectively that functions, but we've still got to work out the actual continuity and connecting it. So if that's on there, we've got to somehow find a way of that wire coming up here and then connecting to that. So that needs to be somehow we need to be getting a wire to connect onto there. So we need like a ring, don't we? Like a brass ring in there, say, that would connect to that. Well, that ain't going to work, is it? It ain't big enough there, is it? Like that. Yeah, this is a bit vexing, isn't it? Unless we just have a thing in the middle of there. See, because that moment that's obviously, look, the moment you put that spring on there, that obviously, you see, it'll pass through that, won't it? So we have to have that insulated, from here or from whatever is in the centre here. So the only other idea I'm thinking is if this had a little piece in the middle, so it actually was inside of that. It sat inside there, and just the middle of it connects to the end of the column when you push that. And this is insulated. This is insulated from it. So, if you see what I mean. With this plastic, it will insulate it. But that means we've got to have a little sort of pimply bit here that connects to that wire. Now, Jaguar's had something a bit similar like that, but I looked that up and it's expensive. The kit's, £100 just to buy the bits. And I don't think it really work on this. I think we've got to put something along their design. That's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, it will be revealed. So I've had a look in the box and I found this thing. It ain't right either. Look, that ain't going to do that, is it? That just doesn't work, does it? There's no way that's going to do it. And then there's these. But yeah, this doesn't work, does it? Because that wire's got to come up and go through there somehow, isn't it? How's that gonna, you know, that ain't gonna work, is it? That goes on, that it don't work. I don't know if that's anything to do with it. Perhaps it isn't. And this one just seems, I don't know, it's too big, isn't it? And that bottoms out. That all bottoms out when you're trying to use that, so that doesn't work. So it's a bit odd. It's in nice condition, but it's something ain't quite right, is it? See, that's the sort of thing you have on the Fiat Dino ones, but they don't have this. They don't have this wire coming up. You know, they earth on the column and then across on the yeah, through the top of the steering wheel. Don't know what to make of this. It's this wire coming up the top's confusing me. I reckon we're going to have a look at that Ghibli. We've got a Ghibli in next door. I'm going to go and have a look at that, see what that's got. Where is the Ghibli? Well, that looks like the same thing on the Ghibli, doesn't it? I reckon that's it. Okay, so let's see what goes on behind this. Right, here we are. So that looks the same, but yeah, that's it, isn't it? This bit. It's this thing, that's what we're missing. Oh, and look, the that spring's insulated. So that must work with that touching there, which is exactly what we want, isn't it? So the spring's insulated, and that just goes up on there on the connection. So that's fairly easy to do. Oh well, we'll sort that out then. Right, so I need that for a pattern. We need to make a spring that's similar to that and insulate it. And then we should have something that does it, shouldn't we? And it's a bit, even this one I'm not sure is quite right. Okay. Well, it pays to have more than one car in this, doesn't it? Right, so I reckon this will do it. So yeah, it's like just like it was on the Ghibli, isn't it? So made my disc up, that'll work. So effectively we've got to connect that to there when we push the horn down, don't we? Which will, you know, earth it out, won't it, make it work. So there we are. That earths out, that's fine, isn't it? So you have a spring on there. Right, do you remember we were talking about the spring being insulated? You see, it ain't going to work without an insulated spring. So what I did, I covered that one in shrink wrap that you use on the wiring. So I used a bit of shrink wrap on that. That'll fit over there quite nicely. So I reckon we'll get away with that. That fits on there. I had to re-drill this. I did that one the same as the one on the Ghibli, but it will tend to interfere with where the spring is going to sit. So, you know, that's the one off the Ghibli. That's our one, isn't it, off of our Mistral. That's what we're working on here. So that'll fit in there quite nicely. That'll work, and that'll, you know, we've got to get our wire to go up to there. So that's all going to work. That now doesn't interfere with that spring or in the way of here. So that works quite nice. So there you go. So we've not got the what I was looking for, isn't it? We don't want that continuity. See nothing there. Connected together by pushing the horn works, doesn't it? So we've got our little Maserati horn push on it. Let's see what it does. Oh, we can't do that, can we? Just can't get to it. Anyway, well, we'll try that on the car, won't we? But effectively, that's going to work, isn't it? Because there's nothing there now, not connected. Push it down. There you go. It worked, won't it? So we put it on the car, see what we've got. I reckon that's going to be all right. That fits in there nicely, doesn't it? That's a nice little fit. That's worked out all right. And I reckon that'll do. Fits over that little Maserati nut, doesn't it, nicely? It could chafe away and be a problem. That's what I'm worried about, because that's what was confusing me about the whole setup. You think, well, why would you know, how's it going to work? How's it insulated? But, you know, dare I say, to be the Italian way of doing things. But then it's got to chafe all of that away, hasn't it? Even if it chafes away on the bottom there, it's still going to be insulated. So long as that is insulated to that, that's fine. You know, it'll be all right, won't it? Because it's where this wire comes up through here, it'll connect onto here. So it's physically earthing that to there. So long as this insulation is good there, it'll be all right. I mean, you could even sort of glue a little disc of like gasket material on the or something like that, you know, to be belt and braces, which are, you know, or even masking tape would do it, wouldn't it? Not masking tape, insulation tape. I'll see. I might do something like that. You know, a little disc of it, cut a nice disc of it on there could work, and it would help. You know, it'll be fine, won't it? I'm sure it will. Sure it'll be right. But it does seem counterintuitive way of doing things. Anyway, there we are. Out of the way, you peasants!